Bob, does that require a rice notice? We're assuming it does. Oh, no, you know, you went to college, you should know more. Okay. All right, with that, okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would everyone please stand for a short prayer and a salute to our flag? Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of publication, Terry?
Yes, Mayor. Take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 14th day of January 2019 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Here.
Delina.
Here.
Enriquez.
Here.
Kilpatrick.
Here.
McGill. Novak.
Here.
Okay, approval of prior minutes of the Mayor and Council. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the following minutes be approved, subject to correction. The January 5th, 2019 agenda session and reorganization meeting.
Would you please read over the agenda that you had put out?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tonight. I added 2 other sessions.
Got it.
Thank you.
The December 17th, 2018 regular and agenda session, as well as the closed session, and the November 13th, 2018 grievance hearing and closed session.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Yes.
Delina.
I'm abstaining from November 13th and December 18th, but yes to January 5th.
Enriquez.
Same, abstain from November 13th and December 17th, yes to January 5th.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
McGill. Yes. Novak.
Yes.
Yes, whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances for a closed session, whereas the public body is of opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Sayreville, State of New Jersey as follows. A public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 10 to 15 minutes to discuss tax litigation, labor negotiation, personnel. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the non-disclosure no longer exists. The resolution shall take effect immediately.
Move the resolution be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Robert? No, well, you're second. Joe? Where we go? We're early, we're quick.
It's like my.
Make a motion to reconvene.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, with that, we'll go to appointments. I am going to appoint Ann Werb to the Recreation Commission. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan,
Yes.
Delina,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Recreation.
McGill,
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Okay, ordinances to be introduced?
Are there any other appointments, Mayor? That's it?
That's it.
Mayor, if I could, just make our council committees so that we can get them to the keys, get them to the meetings.
Sure.
I move that Kevin Delina be appointed to the Class 3.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Kevin Delina be appointed to Class 3 for Planning Board.
Second.
Is that the council appointment or my appointment?
I believe it's ours to appoint one of
I
us.
don't know, I'm just, council?
It's council.
Okay.
Got anybody else, Danny?
The only other thing I have
All in
is,
favor?
On that?
aye.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, next one.
The only thing I have is that we each have committees underneath our titles, so we would just go to those boards. We don't have to be appointed. We're not memberships, we're not members, so, for instance,
Your
I'm,
liaison.
yeah, you're liaison to those boards.
So we'll fill them in as the
Usually we say them
liaisons.
on reorganization, but this time we didn't, so it would just go in accordance.
So the way they've always been set is the way we're keeping
That
them.
would be Kevin's.
Is it gonna work
Council
out?
President?
You were appointed last time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You were appointed to Office on Aging last meeting.
No, I was appointed to open space because that's
Okay.
a voting member.
Yep.
I'm liaison to Office on
Okay,
Aging. 'cause the
so
meetings-
what I have is myself as Board of Health, Damon as Recreation Committee, Vicky as Environmental, and Mary as Shade Tree, Rent Leveling, Recycling, and Office on Aging.
Library board and so forth, is that, everything's gonna stay,
Yeah, Library Board is rec,
is rec,
automatically is in a rec.
so it's everything that we've been in the past as
Correct.
far as those
On
things.
Aging.
Whatever committee.
All
you
the
have.
committees, correct.
Anything else?
That's all,
Council
Mayor.
President? Okay, Terry, if you would?
We have the introduction of the following ordinances. Ordinance number 433-19, an ordinance of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the execution of an amended and restated supplement financial agreement with Red Oak Power Urban Renewal Company, LLC.
Councilman McGill?
Thank you, Mayor. Just jumping into this again, I assume I'm introducing this ordinance?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advised and according to law, and a public hearing to be held on January 28th, 2019.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons McGill,
Yes.
Buchanan.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Kilpatrick. Novak.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 434-19, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville, Section 7-3.7, handicap parking spaces in streets.
Mayor, I move the-
Council President Buchanan?
Mayor, I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on January 28th, 2019.
Is there a second? Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Kilpatrick. McGill.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 434-19, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees of the Borough of Saraville and County of Middlesex for the years 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22.
Councilman McGill?
Thank you again, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on January 28th, 2019.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons McGill.
Yes.
Buchanan.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes,
Novak.
Yes.
Next item?
Ordinance 436-19, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Thank you.
Mr. McGill? Councilman McGill, rather?
Thank you very much, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on January 28th, 2019.
Roll call?
Councilpersons McGill,
Yes.
Buchanan.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Kilpatrick. Novak.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 437-19, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22.
Thank you. Move the
Councilman
ordinance be-
McGill?
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, a public hearing to be held on January 28th, 2019.
Roll call?
Councilpersons McGill.
Yes.
Buchanan. Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Kilpatrick. Novak.
Yes.
That's all I have at this time, Mayor.
Wait a minute, is Bob Clark,
I think he's sitting with.
you have a conundrum. Could you knock on the door and get Bob?
It's the conundrum.
It wasn't your fault. Robert, I need you to come up here and verify that we can use one of the labor contracts for the police. We don't have a police contract scheduled here,
Police ordinance.
police ordinance, rather. Can we use one of these? Just give a different number? This is first reading. This is first reading, Bob.
This is first reading.
I thought we spent all our time to talk about
This is for the other mayor.
it. All right. So fellas, it won't happen until the next meeting. The contract. We won't be voting on the police contract till the next meeting.
I don't think we can't do anything yet because they would have to turn around, meet with.
I understand.
They,
I
I
understand.
don't think they were anticipating it to be
Well,
voted.
they're anticipating something. Maybe it was a free dinner.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they know.
With that, I'm going to go to the consent agenda. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on consent agenda items. Jim?
On Resolution 2019-42, what's the purpose of that?
Kalaji property.
2019-42,
That's just,
the Chesapeake Road property.
2019-42?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
this was just to assist us in determining the exact structures on the property. We already have a site plan that was done a while ago. We just need a survey to specifically identify it.
Okay. Is that the ultimate purpose?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are there any other questions or comments on consent agenda items? Being no other questions, I'll entertain a motion. Council President?
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Kilpatrick. McGill.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Okay, do we have the resolutions?
Mayor, I have the following resolution to be read in full. Resolution 2019-45. Be it resolved that the following persons are hereby appointed to the following title and department as per New Jersey Civil Service Commission procedures. Name of appointees, Matthew Salvatore and Christopher Raub, to the position of police officers in the police department effective January the 14th, 2019. Be it further resolved that the compensation to be paid such appointees shall be fixed and determined by salary ordinance or appropriate resolution adopted thereunder fixing the compensation to be paid municipal employees, and that these appointments be made subject to all rules and regulations of the New Jersey Civil Service Commission.
Is there a motion? Oh, I'm sorry. Open to the public about the appointment of two new police officers. Are there any questions? Being no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the public portion be closed and the resolution be approved on roll call vote.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Delina?
Yes.
Enriquez?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
McGill? Yes. Novak?
Yes.
Fellas, welcome to the Saraville Police Department. With that, we'll move to the CFO's report. Denise Biancamano.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Borough Engineers Report, Jay Cornell. Borough Attorney's Report, Michael Dupont.
No report, Mayor.
Okay, I'll open the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. There is a 5-minute limitation. Other questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Closed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, do you want to move right to the agenda?
Anything new on it, sir?
Yes.
It's just with regards to the, just with
Ah, okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Do you need a copy of this, Terry? Or you have a copy of it? Okay. Okay, with that, I'm going to call the meeting to order with a salute to our flag. Okay, as I call out the ordinance, if you have a
Mayor, I need
question.
notice of publication. Take
I'm
notice
sorry.
that this agenda session meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 14th day of January 2019 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Here.
Delina.
Here.
Enriquez.
Here.
Kilpatrick.
Here.
McGill. Novak.
Here.
Okay, I'm going to
Thank
call
you.
out the ordinance number, so if you have a question or comments, please stop me. 433, 434, 435, 436, 437. Then we'll go to committees reports, administration and finance, Councilman McGill.
Senior Citizens Club to conduct an on-premise 50/50 on various dates in 2019. That will be RA-2245.
Any objections?
Item number
Any
two.
objection? Next item.
Item number two, PTA Leroy Gordon Cooper to conduct an on-premise draw tricky tray on-premise for a 50/50 on March 8th, 2019, RA 2246 and RA 2247.
Any objection? Next item.
Item three, OLV HSA to conduct an off-premise 50/50 on March 30th, 2019, RA 2248.
Any objection? Next item.
RJC Charities Incorporated to conduct an off-premise 50/50 on April 27th, 2019, RA 2249.
Any objection? Next item, Councilman.
Item C, authorization for the tax collector to refund 2016 and 2017 taxes in the amount of $20,966.30 and cancel a subsequent billed taxes covered 1 Scarlet Drive, Block 21207, Lot 0009, due to the approval of a 100% disability veterans tax exemption by the tax assessor effective January 1, 2016.
Mayor, I think you have to excuse yourself from this one. Any objection? Next item.
Item D, notice of public hearing filed by PSE&G to petition filed with BPU for approval to implement and administer an extension to PSE&G's Energy Strong program and to approve an associated cost recovery mechanism. Receive and file.
Yep. Anything else, Councilman?
Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Delina.
A, Minutes Department reports, none. B, letters received from Kevin Delina resigning his position on Sarah effective December 21st, 2018. I make a motion to receive and file.
Next item.
Notice to adjacent community property owner. Notice of application before the Old Bridge Zoning Board of Adjustment on January 17, 2019, received from Donna and Patrick Liptak for a C variance bulk for the construction of addition bump out on side of a house and a front porch with roof on premises located on 365 Sunset Avenue, Old Bridge. 2, notice informing property owners that Marcus J. Mount, owner of Heaven on a Bun LLC, will be placing a hot dog cart at 3000 Bordentown Avenue in Old Bridge Township. 3, notice of application before the Sayreville Planning Board on January 16th, 2019, requesting a waiver of site plan review for proposed development of an underground reclaimed water pipeline for a proposed Caseby Energy Center that is to be located in Woodbridge Township. Make a motion to receive and file.
Second.
Anything else, Councilman?
No.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, I move that the minutes.
He knows how to pronounce Keysby.
Oh, he's from the other side. Okay, next item.
Okay, there's nothing else on the agenda here. In the past few months, there's been some discussion, well, for the past few years, there's been a discussion about the unsafe conditions in the Public Works garage. At this time, there is a building that could possibly be purchased by the Borough of Salem that would house the, and I'd like to authorize with the council's consent, the attorney, Mr. Franco, and the head of Public Works to get together with the owner of the property, discuss what possibility, and come back to us with a report and a recommendation.
Where's the property, Mayor?
It's over on Hartle Street, Mayor. It's an old truck depot. They used to repair trucks there.
What's the address? Do you know, or what's the name of the business on the building?
Liberty Trucking. They're selling.
This is exploratory,
Right now, yes.
not committing any.
No.
Okay. I would like the engineer there to make an assessment.
Oh, sure, whatever. But I'd
so-
like us to, start the process a little
No,
bit. better.
yes, but I like, and that, for energy, square footage.
Oh, yeah. Well, this building has got the energy is wastewater, waste.
No. If they have sufficient energy for the needs of Public Works. Jay, if you would do an assessment as to whether what would be required in the building to meet the needs of the Public Works garage.
But Dan, the owner wanted to, we needed to authorize Dan to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Also, I got this out of the paper today. I don't know if anybody's seen the Suburban. It's about 3 sheets. It goes through very quickly, but I saw this in there and I couldn't help but decide that I had to read it tonight because most people don't read that anymore. The Middlesex County Sheriff's Officer is advising residents to be aware of a continuing phone scam that is targeting the area. In the most recent scam, the callers, sometimes via voice message, use the Middlesex County Sheriff's Officer information and identifies him or herself as an employee of this agency, according to the information provided to this office. The caller claims that the resident has an outstanding warrant for non-appearance for jury duty and demands immediate payment using the prepaid credit card. This, to me, is something that I hate to say it, there's probably not one person in this room that hasn't ever disregarded a jury notice. And people would, particularly older people, might really believe that there's a warrant for their arrest for not doing it. So I'd like everybody to be aware of this and to make sure that, you don't fall prey for any of these scams. Nobody does that over the phone, no agency. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mary. Water and Sewer, Councilwoman Kilpatrick.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation is just before me. Would you like Damon to go first?
Ladies first.
Thank you.
But Damon, you go ahead. I skipped over you.
Thank you, Mayor. No minutes or departmental reports to report. applications for a special event received from Old Bridge Sayreville Rotary to conduct a 5K run on May 5th, 2019 at Julian Capic Nature Preserve. No negative reports on that.
Next item.
All right, Sayreville Emergency Squad to conduct a wrestling fundraiser event on January 26, 2019 from 4 to 6 p.m. at the squad building. Please see reports, documents attached. Not all reports received. Application received January 9th, not enough time to process, required to be filed 45 days prior to the event. If approved, it will require resolution. Next meeting after the event. I do believe it should be approved with the caveat that all the paperwork does get turned in within the next week or two before the event.
Counselor?
Objection, subject to all the documents being given to the clerk prior to the event, including insurance.
Do we know what's outstanding right now, other than what was in the packet?
I just, if I may, I just have an update. As of this minute, the insurance was approved, just so you know.
And just, the captain of the Sayreville squad is meeting with the chief of police Wednesday morning to discuss any of the other remaining issues. And there was just a slight mistake on the application. For some reason, they had put in there 300 people. There was a similar event in November at the KSC, and they had 102 people. So the squad isn't anticipating maybe a few more, maybe a few less, but nowhere near 300. So that will have to be corrected also. But he's meeting with the chief mayor.
And also, will the council be waiving the need for that resolution?
Waiving the what, Terry?
The need for the resolution in an event of this type and this sort, usually that the borough would have to expend monies and other options and highlights would have to be noted in the resolution as to what the organizations would have to follow through with, that would need a resolution. So was the council waiving the need for that resolution because we won't have a meeting in between that time?
You can,
That was, the application should have been in 45 days before, not last week when we have a meeting on Monday.
and you can approve this subject to the conditions,
All normal conditions
Right.
being met.
right, and then we
All
can,
normal fees having been paid.
then we can have a resolution at the next meeting following, well, I guess that meeting would follow the wrestling, wrestling fundraiser.
Is that what you're proposing, Councilman?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? Second. We just take a roll call? Yeah, roll call. Okay, roll call on the reso to allow this?
Roll call on the what, Mayor?
To allow this,
To allow the event?
yeah.
Okay. Councilpersons Enriquez,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Delina,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
McGill.
Yes, just one question. Since this is so soon, does this give police the time to organize for this?
Well, the police are meeting with the organization next Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, I believe it is.
And did fire have questions in reference to it as well? Because I want to make sure.
Questions, I believe, because of the capacity of the building.
So can,
That 300 number was over the capacity, but that is not the correct number.
so since they're meeting with the police as well, can we make certain that they meet with our fire inspector as well in order to keep his concerns addressed?
Okay, roll call?
We're still going. I said yes. Who's next? Did that take care of
I
everyone?
got through the roll call. Councilman Novak, you responded to me, right? Yes?
Okay. Anything else, Councilman?
Progress, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Water and Sewer Environmental, Councilwoman Kilpatrick.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no minutes or departmental reports at this time. I do have a notice of public notification received relating to a proposed classification exemption area, well restriction area located at the Parlin Shell, 2800 Washington Road, to receive and file.
Any objection? Next item.
Okay, and I've two additional things under committee reports. First, I would just like to, I'm going to move that back a minute. As many of our residents, I'm sure, read within the newspaper recently regarding, and this is my Sarah Commissioner's hat on right now, in reference to a survey that was mailed out only a couple of weeks ago in reference to the Riverton site. The mailer went to certain residents, we're not sure how many. If you read the actual article, you'll note that We wanted to make clear that people were aware of the fact that that survey was not sent out through the redevelopment agency, so Sarah had nothing to do with that survey, nor did the developer, nor did the Borough Council. If you read the article, you would also have heard that we're trying to find out exactly who was responsible for that survey. At this point, it's being deemed as a push survey, a survey in essence that was designed intentionally to solicit negative response. There was a website that was in fact attached to that you could go on, and it appeared as if it was working as a collective group regarding redevelopment projects nationwide. We have yet to determine if there has been any additional redevelopment projects that this company in fact is looking at other than Saraville. So we're concerned about the stipulation that it stated it was nationwide. There was also, we considered this to be, at this point, a proxy site that was basically created by an individual, but with very limited information on who was responsible for it, making it difficult to track. Sarah, in conjunction with Riverton, for the development of Riverton, are trying to find out as much information as they can. We just wanted our residents to be aware that this was not a borough survey, this was not a redevelopment agency survey, and this was not a survey put out by the redevelopers. So I wanted to make certain that if you did not read the article, that you were aware of that. Proceed with caution as far as if you did send it out or if you did respond in any way. In addition, and I think I'm going to defer this actually over to Council President Buchanan, as many of us are aware, we are currently in a government shutdown still of quite a significant number of days. Many towns are looking at different ways in order to give relief to those employees that are no longer receiving a payment or receiving their salaries. Under water and sewer, there are certain things that we can do, but I'll defer over to Council President Buchanan about a potential idea of maybe doing a deferment for certain
Mayor.
types of things here
Thank
in
you,
the borough.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I actually received a message from my sister down in Claremont, Florida, and they just down there put a resolution together to defer any interest or fees for verified federal employees who are on furlough or not getting paid while working. And I would like to see if we can have that done here in Saraville as well, with the proper verifications, of course.
You can do that. There are many municipalities throughout the country that are deferring these type of fees. I will work with Councilman Buchanan to get a resolution for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Anything else, Councilwoman?
That would be all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety, Council President Buchanan.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that there are no minutes, I'm sorry. Letter B, I'd like to have approved the application for records license renewals. And letter C, coin toss requests for the corner of Washington and Ernston received from Knights of Columbus and the Saraville War Memorial Class of 2022 and the Saraville War Memorial High School Stand Up to Cancer Society for March 9th and 10th of 2019. Terry, all the paperwork's in and approved? Okay, I'd like to have that approved as well.
Any objections? Anything else, Council President?
Yes, Mayor. I just wanted to follow up from our last year's conversations that we had. We had a subcommittee of myself, Councilman Lembo, and Councilman Grillo regarding recreational marijuana as well as Pershing Avenue. And now that those two members are no longer on the committee here, I would like to see if I can get two more individuals put on that committee so we can start meeting again.
Well,
What do you recommend?
I would be interested in the recreational marijuana committee if there's no other takers.
Anyone else? Yeah, I'm just saying, if we can get more people, so Mayor, whatever, we can,
We
yeah.
have to replace two.
So I'll have Kevin and Vicky on the medical marijuana and Mary and, yeah, and anyone else want to get on a committee? All right, Damon, since you popped your head out.
Sure, Councilman Buchanan.
Thank you. So Mary and Damon on the Pershing Avenue.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'll coordinate a meeting with you guys to give you updates.
Thank you.
Anything else,
Other
Council?
than that, progress.
Okay. Under my report, a while ago, I was invited to attend a presentation by Senate President Sweeney at Middlesex County College, myself and a number of the mayors from Middlesex County. And it was about it was an economic and fiscal policy work group, and he has sent a resolution, which is in today's package, and if there's no objection, we can have it for the next meeting.
Mayor, I have a problem having a resolution that we support this when we don't have any information on what it is we support. Is there any way we can find out
Sure.
exactly what they intend to do?
Go ahead.
Support it?
Go ahead, Terry. Contact the contact person and ask him to send a digital package and distribute it to the governing body. Okay. The other thing is, at the last meeting in December, I asked that John McCormick, the former mayor, who lives on Pershing Avenue, be the point person, and that he be sent a kind of a comprehensive outline of what's going to happen as far as repaving the street, putting in new sewer and gas lines, and how the parking on alternate sides is going to work. I saw him at the Mary Poppins place Saturday night at the high school. He had not yet received it, so if we could get that out to him, I would appreciate it. It's just an itinerary, it's a construction report, Jay.
Mayor, like Pershing Avenue, while they're working there, there's no parking on either side of the street.
Well, you need to tell them that.
Yeah,
You need to tell them that.
that kind of happens anywhere in town.
Mary,
Basically paved.
that's a small street. It's the only street between like MacArthur and Minisink that has alternate side of the street parking. So we didn't really do the residents right on that street, but Jay or somebody, Dan, send McCormick an itinerary of what's going to
I'll
happen.
coordinate with Jay.
And then on a lighter note, former Saraville Police Captain, current business administrator for South Amboy, sent me a challenge. There is a fella in New Jersey who creates town songs, and the good former police captain spent $44 to have a song made up about South Amboy. And it's a lot of fun. It's atrocious, but it's a lot of fun. And he threw down a challenge to me that I would do one for Saraville, and if there's no objection, I'll send this information to everybody. But if you go on Facebook, you go to the city, you heard it?
Yeah, the only
It's
problem is,
atrocious,
Mayor,
but it's funny.
Talk to Glenn before you do that, because it's my understanding South Amboy made him pull it down,
They may.
Facebook. So just talk to him.
I haven't
only
talked
found
to
that
him
out
since he
tonight.
posted it. He was very happy with it.
I thought it was cute.
I'll talk to him about it. And with that, we'll go to the business administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Authorization to execute an agreement with Green Chip Recycling for receiving electronic waste recycling services.
Next item.
Authorization to promote Paul Collin to water treatment plant operator in the Water and Sewer Department, effective February 1st, 2019.
Next item.
Authorization to approve ATP's proposal to provide design and consultant services as relates to physical security at the water treatment facility.
Next item.
That's it, Mayor.
Okay, Denise, any?
Budget transfer resolution, Mayor.
In the packet.
Okay, Jay? Mike?
No report, Mayor.
All right. Anything left for executive? No, sir. Okay, public portion, questions or comments, Steve?
Steve Melineski, 28 Scarlet Drive in Parlin. Like a bag penny, I'm back looking for the pro forma on the COA from Susan Gruhl's group.
What are you looking for, Steve? I
Pro
can't hear.
forma,
Oh, the pro forma.
it was supposed to be available. I've not seen it.
Yeah, Steve, you know what, it has been approved, we're just getting for the final draft. I'll call Susan to make sure that she sends in the final draft.
And can I get an email from that?
Can you get,
An email copy of whatever it is?
yeah, you know what, if you ask Mr. Frankel tomorrow, he'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Two questions. First one pertains to the 4.1 acres on North Ernston Road. What's the status on that?
Is that Kaplan?
Yes.
Yes.
Kaplan and soon to be part of
Yeah, I've
Kennedy
been in
Park.
conversation with Brett Kaplan regarding some title issues, and he's going back and researching those title issues because I can't close unless those title issues are taken care of. So I had the conversation not only with Brett on Wednesday of last week, and then also spoke to Mr. Edwards to also let the judge know that we may need some additional time.
Okay, so when do you anticipate an ordinance can be introduced?
That would be up to Mr. Kaplan and getting the documents necessary for our title
When he gets the
company.
title information to you. Okay, thank you. And my second question is on Mr. Frankel's report under Water and Sewer, item number 2, authorization to approve UTP's proposal to provide design and consultant services as it relates to physical security at the water treatment facility. Mr. Frankel, can you tell me what that's about?
We received a grant for $750,000 to improve the security of the water treatment. We're doing design and the consulting of this is what they're going to be doing to suggest what we could do to spend that money to secure the water treatment facility.
Okay, so we received the grant, we have the money.
We do not have the money. We
Well, at
received
previous
information, we received information that we have, that we will be receiving a grant. We do not have the money in our coffers right now.
Okay, so you're correcting what you said to me the last time I asked about this?
If you want to refresh my memory, the last time you spoke to me, I said we received,
The money.
I did not, I think I said I received the grant. So if you want to be
You received the
synonyms with grant
okay.
and money,
All right, so we
receive the
received the
information.
grant, and subsequent to that, we're going to have design services for what we're going to do?
Yes, sir.
So we got a grant on something that has not yet been designed.
We got a grant for securing our water treatment facility.
Well, that's very broad, but
It
there's
is
been...
broad. Well, the grant's broad.
There's been no design, so we got a grant of $750,000,
Correct.
but exactly what is going to be done hasn't been designed yet.
That is correct.
So how do we know that what it's going to cost?
When we see the design and when we use our people to review what the design is and what we're going to use the money for, we will have input of what that design is and how we will spend the money. You can close your mouth now. It's open. You can close it.
Don't be rude.
I'm sorry.
It's rather convoluted. I have a little bit of experience with state grants over the years, and I have never seen a situation where you get a grant and then you design the proposal, and it's just a little bit unusual, that's all.
Okay.
A little bit unusual, and gonna have to look into this a little bit. Now, what was the police department's role in this request for security?
What was the question? I didn't hear your question.
What was the police department's role in this request for security at the water treatment facility?
I don't think it was police. I'm sorry, can I?
What input did they have into it?
I don't think they had much input into it.
So the police department didn't have any input into a plan to secure the water treatment facility? Well,
if I
what
may-
was the genesis of this? How did it start?
Because we were told we had to secure it.
By the, yeah, wasn't that the DEP was the one that
DEP said
stepped
we
in
must
and told
secure
us we had a problem and that we needed to secure it. I think this goes back, Jay, oh God, how many years now that we had received notification that 3 or 4 years? It's my understanding, and sometimes my recollection isn't 100% on point, but if I remember this correctly, and I believe Mr. Droll actually came up and we had discussions about what was the best way to turn around and actually secure an area that was problematic at our water treatment facility. There were people that were actually going into the water over there. There was concerns about unauthorized individuals getting very close to our building and potentially entering our buildings, and that was a concern.
Just like they could enter any other municipal building?
Again, I'm officially on water and sewer now, like only a couple of weeks ago got that,
Yeah.
not even. So from what I understand as a council person, this was an area of a lot of concern for the employees that were there, as well as for the director, and then obviously for our DEP. So we were told, I don't think that this was something we were able to even debate, that we needed to come in and offer some type of a security plan in order to make
Okay.
sure that that area
And
wasn't going to
What-
be.
What is included under the term water treatment facility? Is that the building, is that the well fields, is that the exterior as well as the interior?
All of the above.
Everything.
All of the above?
We needed to look at, I believe, a
So-
lot of different things here. I think the last time this came up, there was a lot of debate and discussion about whether we'd had to do physical securities, like fencing or something else, and that raised a lot of concern. I was very happy when Mr. Joel came up and had given us his knowledge of stating a lot of areas don't need to do that. And I thought that what we were doing, and maybe I'm wrong, but please advise me if I am, that at this phase, we had just brought in a consultant to kind of get an idea of what possibilities of securities we could we should be looking into. We were able to secure a grant under the guise of security in general. And in this case, our most emergent needs were in this particular area, since we had the government breathing down our neck saying, you're not doing your due diligence. I don't think that we've made any decisions yet. But what we're looking at is, what are some of the possibilities? Will this grant cover it? And if it doesn't cover the entirety, can we do portions of it? But I don't know where we are within that phase, other
Okay.
than we're waiting for a plan. Would
Based
that
on
be
Mr.
accurate?
Based on Mr. Frankel's comment that this might include all the above, which would be the well fields, would that include the area that is now open to the public for fishing?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Not necessarily fencing.
not necessarily fence. So it could be some technological,
Yes.
and that would do what for us?
Has any of us been briefed yet officially on what the consultant was able to come up with? I think we would all be speaking kind of
Correct.
ill-informed and off the cuff, because we haven't been briefed yet on it. I have a meeting with the Director of Water and Sewer coming up this week. I would like to know exactly what we're dealing with, because again, brand new into the water and sewer component. Where are we as far as what the consultant has been able to advise us on, and will we be getting a more formal presentation as a council?
Let me ask this. If I were to go to the Recreation Department tomorrow, I could get a permit to go fish at the well fields, right? We haven't curtailed that. Do you intend to curtail that?
I don't know what we're intending to do yet. I want to see what the consultant has to say and what the DEP is going to force us to do. I don't think that, I know I personally am not willing to put on the record what I'm willing to
Well,
do or
I
not.
know this, that the two largest reservoirs are up in in the state or in Hunterdon County, about 2 or 3 miles from my office. And they're not fenced, they're open to the public. People fish there,
I
people.
don't think any of us are willing to
there. I'm
say
sorry?
that. I don't like when somebody says I'm not entertaining anything right now, so please don't think that we're looking to fence anything in. I know
Okay.
I'm not, I don't know what is gonna be
So
recommended.
we're going to have physical security.
I didn't say.
Well, that's what it says. Authorization provide designing consultant services as it relates to physical security at the water treatment facility.
I think,
Okay, and I'm.
I see what you're reading, but I don't think
I'm
we
just
were
a little
authorizing that.
confused because number one, $750,000, a lot of money. Number two, we're talking about an area that right now, anybody could go get a permit and go fish there. And apparently, we haven't curtailed that. You're still allowed to do that. So apparently, there's not a tremendous amount of concern. It's not an emergency situation.
Mr. Robinson, it's a concern from DEP, who has, it's been told to you up here, has been put pressure on our water treatment plant for the past 4 years to secure the area.
Okay.
Okay, so when DEP, as an example, if DEP tells us, okay, go put a fence up, or you're gonna be fined or something like that,
right.
we've talked to them. If we come up with a different kind of plan that might have other type of security, whether it be some fencing, some cameras, some patrolling, whatever it may be, and DEP, let's say, approves that, obviously, we want the least obtrusive. We want to keep it as open as we can, but we're also beholden to what DEP tells us.
Okay.
I think I see, Jim, why you're up here and why you're
sorry.
making it, I think I'm starting to understand as I reread this multiple times on the way that it's written on the agenda, because you're looking at it in a much more final.
I'm just reading what's here. That's all I
because
know.
I think it, maybe this is language arts, this is what it says for the public that might not have their agenda in front of it. Authorization to approve UTP's proposal to provide design and consultant services as it relates to physical security at the water treatment plant. I think you're reading it as we're accepting that proposal. I'm reading it as we're telling them we're agreeing to have them come forth, show us their design and proposed design, and give us their consultation services to say, this is what we would recommend based on what we've looked
Okay,
at so
so
far. I don't think we're at a final stage
All right,
here
maybe
in
I'm
any way.
misunderstanding then, based on
That's how I'm reading
my
it.
understanding of the English language, when it says to approve their proposal.
I
Are
understand.
you, there is not yet a proposal?
They are devising a proposal that will be presented to the Director of Water and Sewer, to the liaison for the Council of Water and Sewer, to myself. We will review that proposal. That proposal will go to the council. The council will look at it also, and they'll have tremendous input into that.
I see.
Along with our engineer, along with our other professionals, along with DEP.
I see what you're saying, Mr.
So they
Robinson.
will perhaps approve it at some point in time.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
But this
perhaps
says authorization to approve.
the services
Proposal
to,
to provide.
Provide the
services, consulting services.
It's written.
It's written.
Very, Jim.
Oh, it's just poorly written, I guess.
Yes.
Is that what you're
They're
saying?
just-
Inartfully
I
drawn?
will take the responsibility of it being poorly written.
We're
Okay,
approving
all right.
and providing
And
it.
how could I get a copy of the DEP's communication to us telling us to do this?
You probably have to Oprah it, I guess.
Okay, that's what I'll do then. All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Are there any other questions or comments? Yes.
They have.
Mayor Al Gavin, Bordentown Avenue. I have a question. In December, your December meeting, you approved the certification for the captain's position and for sergeant's position and bypassed over the lieutenant's position. Here we are, the three of us are serving in the lieutenant's position, and we're curious to know, when are we going to certify or allow DEP to certify our list?
If I may, Mayor, I know that you're represented by Counsel Dave DiFilippo. I've sent an email to Dave over the weekend when I learned that he's representing you. I know he comes back on the 16th, so I'm hoping that when he comes back on the 16th, we can have a conversation. But prior to that, I'm going to ask, out of abundance of caution, that no one on this dais speak until I've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. DiFilippo.
But you did send him an email.
Yeah.
All right. We'll hold off then and wait until we talk to him. Thank you.
He comes back on the 16th.
Yes.
Are there any other questions or comments? Ruth Ann?
Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place, Portland. Just my Jane P. Q, whatever, public person. The water treatment thing, it's open, no decisions. It's just looking at what might be the smartest way to secure our water. Simple term, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Jim?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Let me just ask a question about UTP. Maybe they were appointed or chosen at a meeting that I missed, I'm not sure. Who are they? When were they selected? What was the procedure for that?
I believe it was in the, I don't have exactly the time frame. In the summer, they made a presentation to the council. They are an expert when it comes to water security, water treatment, and water resources security. And maybe you missed that, I don't know, maybe you missed the meeting, I'm not sure. So when they made the presentation, I don't recall exactly when
You know about when it was?
September?
September? Was that the gentleman that came in and spoke from the audience? There was a gentleman that came in and spoke from the audience. I know Mr. Drawell had some questions. Was that the presentation? No?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are there any other questions or comments? Being no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. McGill.
She is just adorable.
I had to bring you a check tonight, too. I figured you might be here. For the, no, for the dinner dance. Yeah, for the dinner dance, and what do you... You're after. My friend. As always, just kick me. Oh, it's really. All right.
Good to see you.
And all he does is beat me up.